Rattlesnake just had the yellow and black face. They could be brothers. They have just a pigmentation in their skin. Yes, sir. I'll get to you in a second. Stand right there. I got a little copperhead over here. Copperhead. Who wanted to see the copperhead? If you look at the dark bands and the dark bands only on the copperhead, they look like little hourglasses draped over its back. Good on top, your water snakes, your milk snakes, your baby black snakes that have markings on them. But this is a very distinctive pattern. It kind of looks like Hershey Kisses back down the side. On your average copperhead here in Pennsylvania, about 85%, at least 85% of them, the whole way across, no break in them. Like this one right here, you'd have to look real close, and right here's one, see that. Everything else, if you would have just taken paper and drape an hourglass over its back. Very distinctive pattern. The other thing with a copperhead is when they're born, for the first year and a half, 2 years of its life, the very tip of its tail is a fluorescent green, yellowish. Every time it sheds, maybe by the fourth, fifth, sixth shed, then it bleeds out of it, and you don't have it anymore. It looks like an adult like that. We have a big copperhead here somewhere. All right, you got a couple rattlesnakes that are taking refuge in here. We going around to posters again, Jim? Yep. Jim's going to walk around. Kids, get a red tag from Jim and we're going to give out some prizes. I don't know where the big copperhead went. Maybe it got out. Anybody see it by the feet? Underneath this side?
What's snake bite him? What's snake?
That's the little one. Yeah, there's a really big one in here somewhere. He's here somewhere. Big fires if you lose any.
I want to go see the...
Is that him under the paper?
What snake can do that finger? Up the
Yeah. I didn't want to have to bend down that far anymore. This is a nice size copperhead here, folks. This is a 3-footer, a little over 3 foot. You know, you might see a little bigger. I've been measuring snakes since 1984 at organized snake hunts, honey. My biggest one I ever measured was 42 inches. That was down in Northumberland County. Usually a 3-footer plus, 3 foot, 38 inches. Usually wins a snake hunt like this when you get the bigger ones. Male or female? Right there. Well, first of all, we only catch male rattlesnakes here, so I can't show you a female. This is a smaller one, but it's still, I think, 44, 45 inches long. If this was a really big male, and you look at, we come down where we count the subcaudal scales, right where it turns solid black on all these rattlesnakes, the yellow phase and the black, that's the ventricle scale right here. We count those belly scales, 21 or more is a male, 20 or less a female. Just to look at it, not touch them. If this was a female, there'd be a pronounced neck down and a shorter stubbier tail. On your adult rattlesnakes, your males will have a 3 to 5 inch ending to that tail.
So if we get all the way around, we're going to have
2 to 3 inch. That's max on a big female. It has some skeletal features that tells me it's a male. Now later I have that on us. No matter what a dress on it. Yeah. tell you right now. Right now. The venom might be just a tick strong. Just a tick. They have glands that make their venom all the time. Now that gland started making venom in mama for a while. Hasn't been used. It could be just a tick stronger. But if you held a gun to my head and said, rattlesnake's a baby, I'll take the lid, I'll say, give me 2 or 3 bites from the baby before I take one from mama. The bigger the snake, the more bone you give you, that's all it is. Rattlesnakes are the same way. They have the same kind of hemotoxic venom the copperheads do. Our rattlesnake's venom's a little stronger. There's 5 main enzymes proteins make up the timber rattlesnakes versus 4 that they copperhead. I tell people they go on the streets and get gas. 87 octane in the copperhead, 94 octane in the timber rattlesnake. And again, size-wise, they have the potential to be a lot more than a copperhead. They have the potential to give you more venom because it's a bigger snake that has more venom. They have more available. I've had dry bites from all the snakes. I've had wet bites from all of them. So every situation is different. They do not inject a certain amount of venom. It all depends what your situation is. They don't want to use them on something they're not going to eat. They're mad at us or you take them by surprise, a strike, you'll see a little venom on there. They don't want to waste it. They don't want to waste their time. That's why these snakes, you don't see them striking out at us a lot, because they don't want to waste their energy on something. They're survivalists. That's all they are about. They travel 3 to 5 miles from their den site every year, seeking mates and looking for food. And they usually take the same trek every year, going back to that same old root hole they call den. The bigger they get, the older they get, the further that stretches. It looks like a dog here if you draw one out. But it could be going over here to an orchard or back over here to a ridge. It'll make a big loop going back to that same old root hole over
Last year I brought around.
They cross streams, rivers, ponds, highways. Getting back to that, we can't even get it all without using the GPS. You know, they're almost blind. They can't see very good. They have no hearing. They rely on their sense of smell and taste. They're sticking their tongue out all the time. Back to the roof of their mouth called the Jacobson organ allows them to track animals, how to get back to the den site, all that stuff. So, they're pretty amazing little creatures compared to what we are. We have everything going. We still can't find a way around.
What a guy do?
Yeah. Okay. I'll be back. But you guys aren't paying attention over there. That's why we put them in cages. Because they like climbing. There's another one here I might as well put away. Let's see what he got out. Let's see what other black stuff over here. Wow. There's another black snake. I put one in there. He was cool. Oh, okay. Well, then that's the one. Ready? Last call. All you kids, if you get a red ticket, you have to bring them out. Last call. We're going to start giving out prizes. Okay. Where will we at? It's conserving energy. Well, they could. Take a call if you prefer this to stay calm. I know it's
Daddy, what is
you guys are all laughing. It's very painful. It's a very sobering experience. I'm a guy that don't drink or do drugs or anything, so I'm always sober. But it makes you start thinking because it's painful, extremely painful. And I had the first set of kidney stones here a couple of years ago, and I went to the urologist. And I had a couple of ladies get bit by rattlesnakes, and they told me the same thing. The urologist said, well, now you know what it's like to have the worst pain a man can feel because he gets out from. And I agree with it, because you girls got all the respect in the world for me. And then some. And I said, well, buddy, I'd say, full crop on that, try rattlesnake boat. And it's the same thing. The three girls that I know told me the same thing. I'll have 10 kids again before I do this again. It's like McDonald's coffee in a syringe injected into you. And then you have the massive swelling. My worst blade, I had 19 inches out on my forearm. My fingers looked like sausages. This was 24 inches round, all Hogan size. My wife called this the ugliest C-cup boot she ever seen. The swelling headed through to about 4 inches above my left knee. You get black, urinate blood for a while, all kinds of good stuff. Good stuff. But you'll survive it. We're in the 21st century. We get to the hospital and we have a 3 to 5 hour. If it's a bad fight, we don't see too many bad fights from rattlesnakes. There's some moderate fights, but as far as severe fights, you don't see them a lot. Like you would a diamondback fight. That's what did me that finger right there. That's why my finger's screwed up. That we don't have in Pennsylvania. No diamondbacks in Pennsylvania. Most hospitals have at least a couple of hours on hand as protocol out to fly you, transport you to the police control center. So here, we can get you to Danvers as soon as we can. You know, the last time I get there, they were going to take me to Pittsburgh, and I argued with them to take me to Harrisburg because I live in Gettysburg. I'm a half hour away. So, yeah, Percy, places like
Everybody
that.
got a ticket? You got a ticket, huh? Okay, in a little bit we're going to be raffling off posters and stuff, so.
The first 24 hours.
We're going to hear the numbers on this PA system.
Yeah, you know, these tanks are like a half, 5 inch long, some of them on the big one. And to have them two board hooks going into the air, because I've had about a dozen dry blades along with my 8, what I call wet blades. The difference between a wet and a dry blade, they don't get very low or no venom in a dry blade. You feel more like glorified beef steak. Still burns because of the puncture, remnants of venom on the fang. You feel compass in your lips and tongue. You ever stick a 9-volt battery in your tongue and feel that juice? Put like 100 of them in your mouth. Your lymph nodes is where all the blood goes and it's very sensitive part of your face. You feel a line through the middle of the bottom of your nose to your earlobes, down to each side, across, which is through. So that's, I know, I've been bit, I've got a lot of juice in it when that happens. And that happens within the first 30 to 45 seconds, usually. It only depends who you get bit by. I had a blade on the back of his hand, that little bit of a scar there. I've been placed in the same spot. One was good, and the second one I got bit, I didn't feel it. So what's a dry blade? Well, they're not a nurse. Their rattlesnakes are pretty cool, but they're not doctors and nurses. They don't know whether to take that venom. So he must have hit me, and it was in a pocket, the skin. We got the body finally found it, and then about 20, 25 minutes later, it found its way out. So, you know, I ended up with a pretty decent little blade.
Almost looked like it.
But still, stay calm. The worst thing you can do is get excited. Like we've had kids, little kids bit, not by rattlesnakes and copperheads, but just out here walking around with snakes and ringneck's big teeth doesn't form. It was like bit by 80 good sandpaper, 120 good, right now. Won't even make the skin all those good. And the kid tries and we grab him with a prize. And it settles him down right away. This one time, and it's been about 15, 20 years ago, the little kid got bit, I gave it a rubber snake. It wanted the snake back. The mom heard about it, standing up there, turned around and started screaming and bawling. And then the kids started screaming and bawling. So, right there is the worst thing you could have done for your child. Because now, hyperventilate, panic, your blood's pumping, you know. So, stay calm, seek medical attention as soon as you can. Don't, whatever you do, don't Google what to do. Because there's still some stuff on that phone, that stupid phone you go to, that I'll tell you what they treated my dad over that parking lot. And I remember watching it when I was a kid. Cut this up. you don't want to get this up. The worst part of a snake bite after that initial 24 to 48 hours is infection in the area. So it gives a place of skin to tear a break also. So you don't want to do that. Tourniquet and ice is the same thing. You don't want to do either. It damages skin tissue, muscle tissue, an easy place for the venom to attack.
It's just a fly. It's called a hover fly. It looks like it was.
Just don't drink beer. Your blood's going to be thin enough. My dad was a drunk. That's why he bit so much. 23 pounds of rattlesnakes. He drank liquid courage and good stuff. And when he stopped drinking and started drinking water, you knew he was hurt. All right, kids, you red tickets. We're giving out prizes. Our first number.
Can I have your ticket? You gotta turn it in so I get paid here.
Ticket. 216. 216. 201 is the next winner. 201. That's where we did the last time, right underneath there. Copperhead. I knew you'd run out of fingers and toes to get down. All right. Let's measure some rattlesnakes. That's what we all came here for. Which one's first? Black Phoenix.
Here, do you want to get there?
And then over there, that's where they were putting on
You got a girlfriend, she didn't say, step mom, got to take that state brush away. And then she went to here and state brush all. So, it's okay to tell your kids those things. And turtles are even worse. Male dictates the color of your relationship. So a female, why we don't, and this is a good way to start my little talk about this snake hunt. We only catch male rattlesnakes 42 inches or bigger because we do not want to be messing with the females. And we're getting a lot better with our hunters to say, listen, you guys been around long enough, you know, when you see a snake, if it's only this big, it might be a female, why even touch it? It'll take 3 to 5 years for a female to become sexually active to have fur. And when she does, she will go and she will mate with several different males in the breeding process to ensure her healthy birth rate. That's where you get your yellow, your black. You can see all black, you can see all yellow, you can see a bunch of these. And a bunch is on average of 5 to 6. There's as many as 12, 13, but I've been doing this over 40 years, and 5, 6, 7 is pretty average. But in the wild, only about one of them will make it to adulthood. There's a very high attrition rate. Every bird in the sky. I mean, when they're this big, they're just a big meaty earthworm. So, again, we had a lot of yellowstone today, but throughout the state of Pennsylvania, we see about a 70% black to 30% yellow. And the reasoning is a kind of a common sense thing. It's a lot easier at bird's eye view to see a yellow one crawl along the ground as a black. They're both the same health, they do have the same everything else. But it's pretty cool how that all works out. So when a litter of little ones, live bird, she will let them. So that's another reason to love your mom. Because your mom takes care of you. Mama rattlesnakes don't take care of their little ones. She hasn't eaten now for 10 to 12 months. So as soon as she gives birth, she's going to get some supper because it's in a late year. It's usually the second week of August or later. She's ready to get some food in her. She's got to bring up them fat reserves because she just went through a pretty traumatic experience in her life, having young. So she's out getting, and the thing is with the gestation site where they have these young are usually pretty close to the den site. So the little ones, they'll eat small grubs, bugs, worms, whatever, graduating into the small rodents, small birds like, and all these snakes eat, but they're on their own from day one. If they find their way back to the den site, that's the big obstacle. They go into hibernation, come out next year, and that female that just had the young getting back there, she won't probably have young now for another 3 to 4 years. She had to build her fat reserves back up, get healthy again, to go on her mating spree, to start all over. So if we have a bunch of guys and gals going out here, hunting snakes and grabbing, and it's really easy to catch a whole bunch of female rattlesnakes because when they're grabbing around them rocky outcroppings, what we call gestation sites, they stay warm all day long, winds out of them, they're there. And about this time of year is when they then incubate their embryos from what they collected from the males the year before. And they go through a 58-day gestation cycle to have the young. Just to see where their den sites are at, see how they travel.
Yeah, let me grab it. Yeah.
So there's two, it was like 10, 12 years ago. They were caught, 2 big males 8 miles apart over the Allegheny National Forest. They tracked those snakes to the same den site. The next spring, the male just went up, catch the snakes to take it back, we get the wing pan is about that long, a little battery pack in the midsection, take it out, throw it back, release it again. I'm pretty sure this is the first Saturday of March when the first rattlesnake was always dead at a stump to the north of about 100 yards from the den site, which is just a little weird hole. The picture of it looks like this right here, flat, not big rocks. Like our snake hunters don't know what they're talking about. Just because you go every year at Knox and Snake Hunt and catch your snakes in a rock doesn't mean it's a den site. That just means it's a favorite fasting area at this time of year, because Father's Day weekend, last weekend, which is usually this weekend, is the flip of the switch. When it gets to this time of year, now they don't have to worry about getting cold at night. Real cold. So now he has really bad eyesight. Have you ever put a pair of sunglasses on and take Vaseline and put it over top of the front? That's the kind of eyesight they have. You have to get really close to them so they can distinguish what's around them. Besides that, all they see is figures, heat, and movement. So every bit of their energy, venom to survive, to go on, to eat, to look for mates. They don't want to have anything to do with us. So they want to go the other way, right here. I mean, classic example. Unless you pester them, step on them, kick them, that's the only way you're going to get bit. If you're dumb enough to walk through the woods and not pay attention to where you're going, or put your hand down in some bushes or something, that's the only way you're going to get bit. You know, the human race thinks everything's out small.
It's just normal
But
size.
if I could get you guys to put yourself in there, if they had shoes in their shoes, and you have this rock in the woods, and now you're looking for butterflies or whatever you guys look at in the woods, and you come across, and this rattlesnake here
Some of the heads get a little bigger. I was looking for one.
is laying next to a rock with some ferns, and you come up to him,
In the background.
and he shoots between your legs, you're all going to go home and tell all your friends and your family that it attacked me, it came right after me. No, he didn't. He's this high off the ground with poor eyesight, no hearing. You probably woke him up. He has no eyelids. He was probably sleeping. You couldn't tell. And then he feels a vibration. The only daylight he sees between your legs is there's a rock there, a log there, a fern there, and he's going to daylight. He's trying to get out of a bad situation.